Alright. Let's play Magic. If one of these monstrous rages was something different. Oh. Oh. Well. Oops. That has become a new tradition for starting the stream, is I start the stream by accidentally keeping an unkeepable hand. Well, given the nature of my hand, I can't really afford to keep that. Oh, this is a bad start. There's a universe where I like use Hearth Elemental to dump my hand like very soon. Oh. Like, maybe even just do it now, to be honest. Otherwise, my hand is just not doing anything anytime soon, so... we kind of just take a mulligan, sort of, if you squint. That's bad. Bad. Okay, alright. Well, of course we're gonna draw that. We'll put a 4-5 into play and pass the turn. Putting 2 4-5s into play honestly sounds pretty sweet, but I think it's probably more correct to draw cards off of this guy. Good morning, a little sad. Unfortunately, well, our hand was pretty unkeepable. Our opponent's hand is kind of a banger. It's crazy, but I think we're on blocking duty with this Swiss Spear. It's gonna be a hard one to win after punting pretty badly on the keep. But honestly, this is like so far looking not that bad. Darn. So what do we bounce here? I guess we bounce the Siren. We really want Stock Up or Hearth Elemental. Crab is fine, but not super ideal. Actually, Crab, honestly, I mean, Crab is just a really good card. Okay, I think we're cooked after that draw. Well, despite the embarrassing keep, there was like a small amount of hope in this game, which is kind of cool. I think these giant bodies are really good, but obviously we lose this one. Let's go to the next game. Try to actually mulligan. So Maw is quite medium here. Outside of Gix's command, Spell Pierce is pretty medium, and I think this deck having like the 8 fatties makes it pretty like good into Gix's command. Ral is just another top end card. Yeah, what's up, MPH? Torch and Frenzy come in. Yeah, let's play Torch and Frenzy. Let's trim. Oh, what shall we trim? Let's trim like 1 Monstrous Rage, 1 Burst. I'm fine with 6 shock effects in this matchup. With 8, I don't know what to call these guys. I want to call them Tarmogoyfs, but we only call Hearth Elemental Tarmogoyf because he's a 4/5. The cost reduction doesn't really match. Well, is this like a matchup where I just trim 2 Swiss Spears because I'm going big? Probably. Whereas Slickshot? Slickshot is currently a 5/5 crab. This hand is a banger. Much more keepable than the hand that I accidentally kept last game. Excellent. Let's slight and then falls. Do I want another elemental or do I want the opt? Because I have the stock up. I just started at Mr. Potato Head, so I haven't cast the crab yet. It's been okay in testing for me. Nick loves it in testing, so I thought it would be fun to try. Just like go full like fatties that reward us for casting our spells. I guess I'll take the opt. I'll definitely leave that on top. If my opponent casts Bat, they'll be particularly disappointed when I cast my Burst Lightning. This is kind of fun. Anoint with Affliction. Notably, Anoint with Affliction is like terrible against the cards in my deck. We just stock it up. Stocking up. Here we go. Probably take like Talent plus Slight. If I like don't naturally draw my 4th land, I have these 2 boys to help me draw it. And I naturally drew it anyway. Let's cast Talent. Let's Slight. I don't feel particularly compelled to grab the 5th land. I did make a minor misplay. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. We're gonna like galaxy brain here. Because right now our life total is the same as our opponent's. Can I? I really want to pay a red with this and go down 1 life so they don't get the 1/1. But I genuinely don't know if I lose my mana passing from the beginning of combat to here, so unfortunately I'll let it happen. But now we'll frenzy the Preacher. And we have a lot of good targets for our triple Storm Chasers talent. We're like settling in for a grindy match here, that's for sure. Opponent has now spent Go for the Throat and Anoint with Affliction on our Otter tokens, so that feels pretty good. I'll opt on my turn. That's honestly, that's a great draw because it's just a 1 mana 4/5. Let's go! And then we'll pass. I prefer to hold up Burst Lightning. No real reason to sorcery speed it. We are gonna just kill the Siren though. Main phase 2 Bat would punish me, but they do not have main phase 2 Bat, so we're good. Let's draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. Well, we'll put a 4/5 into play and we'll attack. I'm fine with spending my rage here. Now my opponent is going to get to draw some cards here, which I'm not thrilled about. But I also have enough mana to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like I could buy back and cast Stock Up. I could just get Witchstalker Frenzy to deal with the Revenant, which is probably more correct. Opponent having Gix's command on top is pretty annoying, to be honest. And drawing Spire Bluff Canal is decisively annoying. Now I do have 3 buybacks. Oh, this Gix's command is very problematic. They could potentially get Revenant out of Frenzy range. So I think I need to just Frenzy now. We can let them go to blocks first. Okay. Quite unfortunate that we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands. Our opponent found their Gix's command. But we're still in this thing. Kind of. Oh, joke's on you, buddy. It's a tap land. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I feel like I need to buy back stock up and cast stock up and like take this 4 damage, but then hopefully use what I find via stock up to take over the game. Though I suppose if I grab a 1 mana spell, I can cast like Cutter plus Slight. Maybe that's better than doing nothing on this turn. Because at least I stop that, and then next turn I can buy back stock up and have 1 mana left over. Naturally, okay. I need my crab. I think I'll cast Opt next turn, not buyback. Oh, come on, man. That's brutal. Okay. Alright. We can work with this. 2, 3, 4. Do I simply buy back Burst Lightning? I think that's got to be the move, unfortunately. And then next turn we double spell. Okay. So now we flash in the crab. We tap down these 2 boys. Okay. Excellent. So they attack with both. I get to take back my Opt and block here. And then surely we start casting cards on my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is there merit to going to level 3? I don't think so. I really need to deal with these flyers. Stock up. We'll decline. I need to save at least 1 blocker for that. Huh. Slight plus steel cutter seems pretty reasonable. I do need to, you know, end this game at some point. That's pretty bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter what, I'm dead if I don't manage to find a removal spell. We dug pretty darn deep looking for a removal spell. I suppose taking Cutter there was wrong. Surely having 2 ops right now would be better. I actually have, like, plenty of pressure. Wow. My opponent. My opponent just. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. What? What? Oh my gosh. And now we can profitably... Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, dude, you can draw another card. Wow-wee. Oh my. Yeah, bro. Cut it down. What? What? This game is nuts. Oh my gosh. So we go Steel Cutter. We discard draw. We'll equip for now. There's potential that I may just cast. Oh my gosh. Wow. How much mana do I have? Oh, they concede. What a game. Oh my gosh. Sorry, wow. Wow. That was nuts. Do I want to reboard at all? Oh my gosh. That was crazy. I think on the draw especially, I'm like okay without Swiftspear. Do I want some Spell Pierces? I still feel like probably not. Maybe one's fine. Good golly gosh. That was crazy. I'm officially sold on the crab anyway, right? Oh man. I can't really believe what I just witnessed. And my opponent's on a 5. Surely we keep our mana up and opt. Because we threaten to deny the Explorer, we also threaten to choose an artifact or creature. Unfortunate. Goodbye, my beloved crab. Yeah, we'll just opt now. Oh, nice. Crab. 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 Crabbity crab. Oh, look. Hearth Elemental. Let's go. Torch versus Spell Pierce. I think I'd rather have Torch. Don't really want Deep Cavern Bat to cause me any issues. Another Spyglass. So we can deny the Explorer like this time. Torch it up. That game was incredible. Wish I had some reasonable game actions to take here, but that's okay. Alrighty. We will crab this turn. Kind of no reason not to. Just submit one. Yeah, no surprise. Let's play the mountain. Let's play a 4/5, and then let's draw 2 cards. I'm gonna main phase 2 before I draw my cards. Just for fun. Crab, Burst Lightning, good hits, good hits. All right, let's think. So I can actually just cast all my spells if I simply double burst this, which I think is probably correct. I want to put my guys in play. No reason to save it. Nice. No reason not to play and equip the Steel Cutter. You could argue, you know, maybe I want to hold Steel Cutter so it's easier to trigger next turn, but I feel like giving one of my dudes trample and an extra power is worth it. Another Gix's command. So this is fine. Well, I wouldn't say it's fine. The double Gix's command could definitely save my opponent. But this is pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good too. I am simply going to take this opportunity to kill their Soulstone Sanctuary. Next turn we'll haste out Hearth Elemental and yeah. Boom Boom Lizard, Tim Louie, thank you guys so much for following. What an insane first match. You could have played the 4/5 and played Witchstalker. The 4/5 doesn't have natural haste. If I gave it haste... Oh, you're totally right, Tim. Because playing the 4/5 would have triggered Steel Cutter. So then I attack with 2 creatures. You're totally right, Tim. Good looking out. Thank you. Yeah, that would have been even... He would have won if he just took the W instead of drawing, LOL. I don't think... Like, my opponent didn't know what was in my hand, and they didn't know what was in their hand. I'd have to go back and look again and see if it was just, like, BM, or maybe they thought the extra card could help them play around something. I don't know. That was crazy. That was a very, very exciting first match. The like wombo combo of crab and hearth looked really good though. That was fun. Let's see if we can keep the party going. This is a perfectly good hand. Turn 1 talent, turn 2 slight plus talent, falls on 3. We can even falls on 2 actually, if we want. But I'd rather start casting my spells, I think. Especially since I drew a land. I like want to find some non-lands. Alright, triple talent is what it is. No blocks, of course. Alright, we have all 4 talents. You love to see it. Do I want this Flood Maw? Probably. I'm sure I'll be able to... Like, next turn, I bounce a token, and then I do... discard draw, and I'm attacking for 3, 6, 9, 12. And my opponent's at 11. So, yeah, I think we're in good shape here. Drake Hatchers prevents me from killing them, but that's okay. I'll probably actually bounce the Drake Hatcher here. And then if we simply draw a 1-mana spell of any kind, the game ends. And we drew double Spire Bluff Canal. Honestly, that's pretty impressive. Oh my gosh. Oh, you're totally right, Tim. That's 100% better. That would have been much smarter. And this is a very bad thing to do, but I let myself get distracted by the, like... Actually, no. That happened before, not after. That was just a clean punt. Oh my goodness gracious. So my opponent, notably, they didn't tap out. Which leads me to believe that buying back Flood Maw would not necessarily end this game. So I'll probably just do this. I need to let my dog out real quick. Oh, they conceded. Okay, so we want our braids. Those are all the cards I'm willing to play. I'm not necessarily going to bring them all in. But those are all the cards I'm willing to play. There's a pretty strong argument to just never board out these 10. Or this. I think Spell Pierce is like pretty hit or miss. Burst Lightning is quite weak. This is hard. And I'm kind of assuming I don't want to get rid of any of these. I suppose Witchstalker Frenzy isn't really needed, though my opponent is playing Drake Catchers. I think I board out these guys, and I still have 4 cards to go. Like, do I just... Am I almost kind of sort of the control deck post board? I don't know. I don't like the way I boarded, but I didn't have much time because I had to let the dog out. But this looks fine. I'd like it a lot better on the play, but I don't think we need to start with Thundering Falls. We have lands 1, 2, and 3, so I am perfectly willing to take 1 damage. And I will... Okay. I have a pretty strong theory that just bouncing Draycatcher here is really good in general. Now my opponent has like lost their turn 2, and I've resolved my Steel Cutter. Let's see how it plays out. Alright, kind of expected. Really just kind of worked like a time walk. I'll take another Flood Maw. I'll even cast it now, get myself a token. Let's see. And we'll play Thundering Falls. Torch is definitely a good enough draw. Opponent casts Draycatcher again. I am going to establish my crab next turn. It'd be really funny if my opponent played like what's that card? Disdainful Stroke would have been pretty funny there. I don't know. I will respond. You're gonna need spell with one of them being the second Monstrous Rage. Interestingly enough, I will pay the cost. Oh my gosh. Well, as I said, they needed to have spell with one of them being Monstrous Rage. It has 4 toughness. But our thing is gonna resolve. You're right though. I need to stop playing badly. So this resolves. Frenzy resolves. And now we just torch it. You are totally right, Tim. And they concede. Okay. Nice. Tim, good looking out. Latest news. Verge, Reef, Swiftspear, Rage, Slight. I mean, we haven't been doing the, like, aggro deck thing all that much, but it seems like a great opportunity to do that. Is this better on turn? Yeah, this has got to be better on turn 2. Because I could potentially go like Rage Slight, but not find a 1-mana spell. And then on turn 3, I'm like, do I cast Cutter? Do I cast these other 2-mana spells? Yeah, we're playing 4 Crabs main deck. This is an unhinged build that so far has been like disgustingly good. So we're gonna see how this keeps playing out for us. Let's start with Sleight of Hand. I want Maw. I'm like disappointed I can't cast it, but I still want it. There's potentially trouble in paradise here, but we shall see. Oh no, don't full control. Dragon. Oh, it's not mentioned in this article. Weekend information. Collecting Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy. MTG Arena announcements. Do they put like the cool stuff in these things? No. Oh, if anyone figures out how to get that beautiful DRC, please let me know. I want it. I need it. So our opponent left back blockers. This is not looking great, but clearly we start with stock up. And we find a lot of interesting cards. So if we go land Floodmaw the token, then that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they're forced to block and lose their Swiss Spear. I can certainly die to the show off, but I don't think I have any other option. So we take Burst Flood Maw. Is there a universe where, like, I actually just attack now? Because if they don't block... Oh, I do attack now. Because if they don't block, I kill them. If they block, I can kill the Slick Shot and wipe their board. And then Double Maw looks kind of bad. I think I should have kept thinking and taken, like, Burst Lightning plus not Maw. Maybe just Sleight of Hand. Yeah, this is an interesting one where we actually, like, purposely don't trigger Corey. Because we put our opponent in a pretty interesting spot. And they incorrectly assume that since I didn't cast a spell, I don't have a spell. And now we board wipe them. We decline the equip to ensure that both their creatures die. So we've board wiped them. We've dealt 4, and we have a chump blocker. I think, and this is something I put in my, like, long written guide for Izzet Prowess. Corey Steelcutter is an immensely powerful card, but it tricks people into playing badly, essentially. And you have spots like this where if I had cast my second spell right away to get the extra body, my position would have been much worse. And then what we also have is that my opponent just kind of thought, well, Stanley must have literally nothing. Otherwise, he would have cast a spell to trigger Steelcutter. So by not triggering Steelcutter, we both, like, one, gave ourselves way more options to win the game or potentially blow out our opponent, and two, we kind of signaled to our opponent that, hey, maybe we don't have anything. Now, we had just cast stock up, so it's crazy that our opponent thought we might not have anything, but that was cool. That was cool. I think we just assume that Drake-Hatcher is coming. And I think what I did last time is I boarded out the Burst Lightnings and the Swiss Spears. And that feels not great, but assuming I'm unwilling to touch these cards, like I'm not willing to, I definitely want those. Torch and Frenzy are certainly better than Burst Lightning. Talent I can't touch, the cantrips I'm not going to touch. So it quickly becomes like, maybe I should trim one Rage and bring back a Burst Lightning. Maybe even like 2 Rage, 2 Burst. I'm not sure how key Rage is to this build at this point. Though raging these fatties is like pretty sick. I am taking a much more like a very different role in the matchup. Falls, Verge, Double Talent, Rage. If I was on the play, this hand looks pretty good. If it was game 1, this hand looks pretty good. On the one hand, it feels like lands and spells. How could I mulligan this? On the other hand, if my opponent has a good hand, I'll just lose the game. This is definitely better. And I'll play it like this. There's, again, like, similar to Steel Cutter, making people think they have to play a certain way. There's a pretty common misconception with Hearth Elemental that, you know, he's bad in multiples, because the adventure says discard your hand. But you can also just, like, cast him as a big old 4/5, which is very good. Goodbye, Draycatcher. You were not good. I'm glad we boarded out 2 of these rages. I do feel like that's pretty correct with, like, I don't think I can get away with boarding out 4 Swiss Spears, but keeping in 4 rages. That seems pretty irresponsible. Okay, we'll play on our opponent's turn. Doesn't matter how big the otter gets, we're just gonna maul it. There's a small chance we do something silly and we do like Rage plus Maul so that we can cast Hearth Elemental for 2 mana next turn. Yeah, I think I like that. I really want to cast my spells. My opponent says there's a hole in your plan. I'm gonna say lands, am I right? Cool. I can cast Opt and put Elemental in play for 1 mana. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna understand now when I play this Elemental for 1 mana. Of course, obviously it would have been better to cast Opt there instead of Rage, but I did not have the option to. Both because of my mana and because Opt wasn't in my hand. Stocking up. Opponent is going to be pissed if they play Draycatcher or Corey Steelcutter here. They do not. So we just attack for 4? Do I put another 4/5 into play here? I think I do. I think my hand is pretty good. And 4/5s are really good in this matchup. With only 2 mana, it's going to be hard for me to dump my hand in the near future, so I feel pretty good about this. Let's see what my opponent has to say. Slick shot show off. I'm willing to take 1 damage from Slick Shot Show Off. I will, in my opponent's end step, test them and see what they have, if anything. They're thinking about casting a blue spell as well. Interesting. into the Flood Ball. Resolve, resolve, resolve. Damage. We're definitely going to recast Elemental. And I think I'm going to simply cast Witchtalker Frenzy and save the Abrade. Oh, my opponent forgot about the auto tapper. That's unfortunate for them. Swiftspear was a good draw for them. Honestly, maybe they didn't care about the auto tapper. Okay, they conceded. This is going kind of really well. Am I gonna play? Am I gonna play 4? Oh my gosh. What's up, Sage? How you doing? Sure. This is okay. Anticipate starting the game with Swiftspear, but we are on the draw, so that could change. I do kind of want to start with Swiftspear though, because I want to since I have 1 red but I have double blue, getting the red spells out earlier means that it's just easier to keep casting my spells as the game goes on. Fear of mousing out. Uh-oh. This could turn out to be a very uninteresting game. Let's just attack. See what my opponent wants to do. We can get up to 6/5 at instant speed via Opt plus Rage, so my opponent did not bother making that calculation. And that's why we don't... I want to keep accelerating into Crab, so I'm going to bottom that. That's why we don't cast Sleight of Hand there. Playing at instant speed gives our opponent an opportunity to make a mistake. They're probably thinking, okay, Rage makes Swiftspear a 5/4, so everybody dies. But they forgot to consider that Opt makes that exchange just a total blowout. Always, always, always give your opponent the opportunity to make a mistake. Oftentimes, they will not let you down. I wouldn't say oftentimes, but often enough for it to be worth it. It's pretty free for me there to just attack. Here, on the other hand, slightly less free, plus I just blew them out. They're probably not going to let it happen again. As much as I'd love to take the Rage there, I think I need the land. I think there's a good chance I cast my spells anyway, so I probably just do that on my turn. And now I have both my cheaters 100% online. Maybe that's what I could call this deck. Izzet Cheaters, because I get to cheat in these fat bodies by casting my spells. Izzet Cheaters. I like it. I like it. I think if my opponent had Sheltered by Ghosts, they would have cast it by now. So... What do you got? What do you got, opponent? Torch the tower. You got me. That was certainly a risk, but I'm pretty happy to get their last card out of their hand. Yeah, Mockingbird. Okay, so my opponent top decked the best possible card to top deck here. That's pretty unpleasant. But we have good cards too. If they also hit an Oculus off of their manifest, I'm gonna be like low-key pissed. Or like a fear of missing out. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I call it Izzet Krabby Cuts. Nice. Then they draw profs? Oh my gosh. Alright, well, I'm calling this a moral victory because our opponent had to draw just insane to win this game, and they delivered. This is crazy. And honestly, we're still not out of it. They're only at 5. It would be pretty disgusting if we found a way to win this. Oh, they have FOMO too. Jeez. So we get to eat the FOMO at least. They're playing bad? Yeah. If we find another crab, they die. Not necessarily. I forgot to get to manifest. What a broken card. What's in my graveyard? So, surely I take the untapped land. And I just buy back Rage, and this should be enough. Oh, I don't have enough mana. No. I did not count my mana correctly. That's kind of embarrassing. Is there a way that I can win this game? And not only the phenomenal top decks, but also the phenomenal... They hit FOMO off of the manifest, so they managed to eat my token instead of trading with it and deal extra damage. Equipping Crab is fine. Like, I guess equip Crab, attack with Crab. They have to minimum double block. They decide to trade because that makes sense. What the? I guess let's make a 2-2. I don't think there's a big difference between 4, 5, and 5, 6. Oh, they just have another Oculus. My opponent is the GOAT. Oh my. Wow. Oh, good. And we drew Shivan Reef. Oh my gosh. So, Rage is not a guaranteed win. So I have to buy Slight and see what I find. That's just crazy, man. Just crazy. Then we find Maw. So we Maw the Oculus. And they can, of course, recast it. What's up, Algernon? We are playing against the single greatest Oculus player of all time. All right. Well, actually, this was a terrible attack. Now we're just dead. So we finally made our first mistake and they get to win. Congrats. Congrats. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That was incredible. I'm so impressed by my opponent. I don't think I'm willing to play that card. Burst Lightning, pretty bad. Doesn't hit their stuff. We certainly want Torch instead of Burst. Maw is pretty great. I did not potentially board in Slight. Frenzy. Braid is maybe a stretch. Do we like... We want all of our cheaters. Ral and Lynx are just extra bombs. I don't know. We keep boarding the same way. Boarding with this is really hard. Because we're not taking out the cheaters for science, but that was just something special, man. I don't like this hand, but I don't think I can mulligan it. This is a hand where I wish I kept the Swiss Spears and Rages. Just because I kind of clock myself, but we drew River Pyre Verge, which is a good draw. I think the only better draw would have been Spire Bluff Canal, so gotta... let's start with Reef. Yeah, Steel Cutter, trigger Steel Cutter. No attack. So I wonder if maybe I don't want like Lynx or possibly even Ral with this build. Maybe having 8 really expensive cards is just enough. Because obviously the crab gets cheaper later, but right now the crab's not cheap. It looks kind of bad. Well, it's not the crab that looks bad, but my hand looks bad. I like both cards, but I think the build you're playing matters. I'll just play Lynx here. I also had the option of going like attack, see if or how my opponent blocks, and then cast Frenzy, which my opponent did block badly last game, so maybe they would have blocked badly again, but I don't really like counting on my opponent to play badly. I guess it would have been more correct to at least attack first and see what happens. But it feels more correct and mana efficient to get Lynx out of my hand. Especially because now Frenzy costs 2 mana. And I can potentially double spell. We'll start with Opt, that's for sure. Would love to cast another spell. Excellent. It is a playable spell. I would have taken anything playable to trigger my cutters. And now I attack with the team. Frenzy just costs 1 mana. Crab will be online next turn because I'm going to cast my Witchstalker Frenzy pretty likely. We'll see what blocks my opponent lines up, but it's quite likely. Okay. In that case, there's not really a good reason to... Oh. Okay, you know what? I'll save Lynx. If my opponent values killing the Lynx that much, then I think I should value saving the Lynx. If I draw an instant or sorcery next turn, you gotta let damage... Oh yeah, the opponent for sure. For sure made a mistake there. High Noon is a terrible play. They can't cast spells. They don't have the damage. I'm gonna take... Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna tap their creatures and kill them. Boop, boop. Let's go! Eddie Merc Crab! What a game. That's so funny. Is there any interaction I'm not playing? I took out Burst and a Braid. I think... I think Lynx on the draw is pretty sus. Let's try it like this. Lynx obviously won me that game, but my life total was quite low. I think being on the draw, I could have pretty easily lost that game. This is fine. We have good lands. we have good cards. It's not without risk. We run out Storm Chasers here. We want the bargainable game object on the board. We have what, 9 bombs in our deck? Not to mention the 2 stock ups, so 11 bombs. Plenty of good draws. We really don't need 2 mana, so let's fix our draw, get rid of this land. Be patient with the removal spell. I'll let them make their discard decision before casting my Torch the Tower. Because they might discard good cards in order to buff up their Mako. Alright, this is quite bad. I think this hand was a good hand to like get us through the early game, but we did need to find some relevant Magic cards to push through the middle and end game, which so far we haven't.
This is the symphony of the earth. A rhythm of uplift and erosion that makes not waves.
And extra annoying,
But waves of
I have to bargain away this talent. It feels bad to bottom Steel Cutter, but Steel Cutter's not going to win me this game with these 2 cards in hand. That is going to get me a lot closer. So how do I want to do this? Maw would make Elemental cost 3.
To certain people, the call to adventure is irresistible.
I already played my land
As
for
everyday
turn.
life has become safer and more comfortable.
I think I might just discard draw.
For you never feel so alive, knowing that at any minute you could die.
So that I can then cast Elemental. Definitely an awkward spot. I really don't want to maw FOMO and let them discard draw again. And then that would have put me behind in that this turn, like, instead of playing Hearth Elemental, I would have only been able to play the Sleight of Hand. Definitely an awkward one.
And there is no glory
But let's see if we can.
for those who are left behind.
Of course, we just keep drawing lands. Definitely a pretty significant skill diff between my opponent and I. They have certainly demonstrated that on multiple occasions. I think they're just, well, I'm gonna be nice and not say anything rude. I don't know what they could possibly be thinking about. I think they're just not paying attention. I think this emote is relevant. Oh! This choice is not as easy as it looks because I have the mana to like use the ultimate on Ghost Vacuum, which is like not irrelevant here. Obviously stock up. Oh, this is a hard choice. Also, they are a little bit representing peers. I'm gonna take the Ghost Vacuum, believe it or not. One, two, three, four, five, six. They also have exactly 6 cards in their graveyard, which means they could cast an Oculus from hand. I think it's really hard not to take stock up there, but Spell Pierce makes stock up a dead card. And the fact that we can pop the vacuum is super relevant. Keep my opponent from casting the Oculus that may or may not be in their hand. They spent a whole turn harmonizing now. Why didn't I attack? Honestly, excellent question. I was being too passive. I was thinking about the fear of missing out, being able to attack twice, being pretty relevant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my opponent has 5 cards in their graveyard, not 6, which means I'm comfortable passing and holding up Ghost Vacuum. On the previous turn, I used Ghost Vacuum on my turn because the way that priority works is if I just pass the turn while my opponent has 6 cards in their graveyard, I guess I could stop in their upkeep, but like once they draw their card for turn and we get to main phase 1, if they have an Oculus, they can just cast it. So the safest way to make sure Oculus doesn't get cast is if they have 6 cards in their graveyard, I just eat 1 on my turn before passing. I don't think I'm like particularly stressed about them casting more Dragon Hunts, so there was certainly an argument to eat the Dragon Hunt, but we do have a big crab. And we'll eat... Unfortunately, my dude is gonna get exiled, so we'll eat the Mako. Oh my gosh. What a draw. Eddie. Prof's eidetic memory. Oh, okay. Is there anything worth exiling in my graveyard? No. crap good. Yeah, so Bondi, going back to the turn that I didn't attack, there's a good chance my opponent wouldn't have blocked, and therefore, like, I could have potentially just won the game. Let's opt. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. That's so crazy. Oh my god. Well, you know, bud, you're only allowed to cast one spell per turn, so congrats on your high noon. You lose. Wow. That's crazy. They can pop their high noon and kill one, but they still die to the other one. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Alright. This is incredible. We're having so much fun. I am gonna take a short break. Having more than just Corey Steelcutter as ways to give trample to the big body boys feels like it's probably correct. But definitely worth consideration. Hartford is so close. It's gonna be hard to cook too much between then and now, but I'm not gonna lie. I'm feeling a little inspired by what's gone on here so far. This should be pretty interesting. Orzhov Pixie is like traditionally the worst matchup for this deck. So it'll be very interesting to see how this particular build does. I don't think I want another Rage. I'm kind of leaning towards Burst Lightning, which feels super boring. But I think just like Steelcutter kill their Pixie is totally fine. Now I'm really glad I took that because they're playing this crazy thing. And I drew the Talon anyway. Oh no. This isn't what I thought it was. Oh, alright. In that case, we'll just go Steelcutter Talent attack. The good news is we do have a Flood Maul if they play a demon. Lockdown Skeleton Pixie. I wasn't aware that there was like a skeleton was part of that. But I would call Beza quite annoying. This is definitely okay. There's a lot of suspicious beeping happening in my kitchen. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, that was really cool the way we saw 2 lands there. I feel like I want something more impactful than a 3rd talent. Crab is pretty impactful. Let's attack. Take it from there. Okay. So that's actually pretty ideal. We get to kill Beza, and I don't have to cast this Flood Maul. Everyone is gunning for prowess at the moment. Pretty tough. Yes, which is part of the reason that like Eddy Merc Crab and Hearth Elemental are really attractive, because the hate cards that do a lot of damage to the deck, those 2 cards are pretty resilient against, especially the white ones. The like trifecta of authority plus High Noon plus Lockdown, and Eddy Merc and Elemental are both not that concerned about those, to be honest. So we just take the 2. Important to remember our opponent can spend 2 mana to gain 4 life. Yeah, that's part of, I mean, it's not like they're necessarily the nuts, but it's definitely one of the things that makes them quite attractive. Thoughts on Trainer? I think Trainer's really cool. But it's not a card that, like, I really like cards that end the game. And Trainer is a card that extends the game. But I mean, I think the Trainer plus this town builds are really cool. So we do this and this. I still think I just don't cast any of these spells. Or maybe I do. I suppose I do. I think I burst this Pixie. And I have Flood Maul held up for my opponent's turn just in case. The authority is annoying, but it's going to continue to be annoying. Because now my opponent is at 8. They are gonna use Kieran. People aren't expecting it. For Hartford in a hellscape of lockdowns, I know to dwell in Bologna. Well, certainly, but Trainer gets eaten by lockdown. I like the card Thundertrap Trainer. I think, like, for me personally, though, I just have a hard time winning the longer games. Obviously, it's actually been going quite well so far on this stream, but in general, I really want to just end the game and get to the next one, so to speak. That's fine. We're certainly not bouncing Kieran. The only thing that this bounce is potentially going to get pointed at is Okay, so we cast this. And then we just attack for 3. And it's going to be important to decline the equip so that our Steel Cutter monk doesn't die. We need to know which equip is which. So for this equip, yes. Sure. And then for this equip, no. And then we just flash in crab and our opponent dies. How cool is that? Guys, this build, I mean, it's just arena, blah, blah, blah. This is so hot. This is so cool. Don't make me a believer, please. For better or worse, I will be signing off after this match. But, man, if you joined late, watch the whole VOD. This has been disgusting. Wow. Opponent's definitely gonna scoop to this crap. Oh, what I wouldn't give to, like, see that in person. See their, like, reaction in person. Yeah, we're just gonna attack. You're gonna be tapped out, and kicking this burst lightning is more than enough to kill you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They were already only 1 prowess trigger away. Like, I also could have simply bounced Lauren or bounced either of their enchantments to deal the lethal damage. Yo, what's up, Yellow Cheetos? Damn, that was insane, honestly. Okay, we want the maw. I think we want the Row. We want more bombs. Damn, they played Beza. Double moment? No, triple momentum breaker. They fetched a card. That was nuts. They play Beza. Does this list usually play Preacher? I don't know. Let's click on Goldfish. Where's that self bounce? 4 Preacher. Okay. There's Shealdred. Okay, probably not a Braid. And by probably not, I mean definitely not. I think we have enough bombs. I don't really want links. Hopeless Nightmare, Momentum Breaker, Lockdown. I don't know how many annexes they'll bring in, if any. Probably keep the Maws, but not bring in Pierce. And then, like, continue to disrespect Swiss Spear and Monstrous Rage. Just because, like, those are the type of cards that my opponent is gunning at beating the most. We have a much, like, go bigger plan. It looks sketchy, but I'm pretty sure it's a keep. We're on the draw. We have talent on 1, sleight on 2. I could even play sleight on 1 if I don't draw the land. That's fine. In this case, I'm not super desperate to find my land because I at least have a second land. Rest in peace. We did it, chat. We got people to play Graveyard Hate against us. No way. That's crazy. Oh my gosh. We did it, chat. Oh, I'm so pleased, honestly. That's so crazy. Slight versus opt just always depends on the scenario. Like, if I know exactly what I want, I'll generally cast opt, because then if it's not the like precise card that I want, I just bottom it. If I'm not sure what I want, then I'll cast sleight of hand, because having like clear choice between two cards is better. Definitely Quarry Steel. Crab costs 7. I don't love putting 2 crabs on the bottom of my library, but 7 mana is a lot, so maybe I do love putting 2 crabs on the bottom of my library. You also, like, both of those statements assumes you don't care about playing at instant speed, but there's plenty of times where you do care about playing at instant speed, and so that would factor into the equation as well. But if I don't have any visions or desires of playing at instant speed, then those are the 2 things I'm thinking about. How crazy is this? Like, oh, they had the Lauren too. I was just thinking about, like, man, it's our worst matchup. Getting them to waste a card on Graveyard Hate is kind of nuts. Quarry Steel definitely was like getting ready to run away with that game, but then they had... What do we want to do here? Casting only Burst Lightning feels so boring, but... I can't really imagine doing anything else. The question is, like, do I hold up Flood Maw? I don't think I do. It feels like there's a universe where I might Maw Talent. I can't target my own stuff with Maw. Well, that would have been the exact reason to hold on to Maw, to be honest, responding to the activation. Opponent really cooked with that sequence. Yeah, we'll cast Doggo. Why not? Ral seems good. Another Steel Cutter seems good. And I'm just gonna double maul these and like crash in for 8. think, yeah. If that Hearth Elemental was stock up, we'd be gaming. We're already gaming. And holy duck, this is like a completely off the wall build. We have cast 2 stock up, so we're playing stock up too, don't worry. There's a lot of fun cards in this deck. Our opponent has a Rest in Peace in play. That tells you how hard we cooked. Can I deal 6 damage? No? No. So we'll play Steel Cutter plus Ral. That feels like a pretty good turn. Sheoldred is not going to be enough. Let's think. If I just pay the full 4 mana, and then I do this, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's lethal, right? 4 mana here, and then just cast this. And that would be 3, 6. Like they block 3 and they take 7 and just die? I'm sure that's lethal. But now it's super lethal. Okay. Oh, I almost punted, huh? That's whoops. That was so close to being really embarrassing. Okay, they conceded. I guess they were just literally okay. I BM'd on accident. My bad, guys. Because they were at 5. They were literally just dead to the frenzy. That was crazy. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to wrap up this stream here, but this was like absurdly fun. As always, shout out to Heavy Play. Thanks for the sponsorship. If you like Heavy Play products, you can get them for 10% off using that link. We'll probably end up putting this on YouTube, so like shout out to YouTube. Hey, thanks for watching this far. There's a link in the chat or in the description. Good luck on the ladder, Twistiverse. I hope it goes well. This deck was I didn't expect this to go well, but this was a lot of fun. So yeah, also thanks MTGBot coming in with the Patreon advertisement. So if I do pivot all the way to this unhinged version of the deck, I'll certainly be posting a sideboard guide and probably at least a small primer on how exactly to play this particular version of the deck, because I do think that playing 8 cheaters, Izzet Cheaters as we call it, changes the way you play. But I have Izzet guides, mono red guides, all kinds of good stuff on Patreon. So thanks a lot. We'll see you guys next time. And then yeah, this town is a good card. Honestly, like bouncing your crabs once they only cost 2, like this town is a good card. It's an interesting card. Could definitely be worth trying. But yeah, the slots are so tight. I feel like kind of... I can't fathom trimming any of these cards. And it already feels sus that I'm on like 2 stock up instead of 4, but I do think there's a fair number of people only on 2 stock up right now. Or like 3. But not the full 4, understanding that like having a playset of 3 mana spells can definitely be precarious at times. But I don't know. Again, it's only 2 hours. But I am going to be trying this. This was a lot of fun, so who knows? Maybe I'll play something like this in Hartford. But yeah, thanks guys. That's all for today. See you next time.